All right, so last time you created a secret message using symbols that are found in Joan Miró's art making. Today we're going to be using chalk, art chalk, to color our picture. Our first step is that we are going to color inside the shapes of the symbols. And our second step is that we are going to color in the spaces outside and around the symbols. So when you're using the chalk, it can get kind of messy. And because it gets kind of messy, it is a good idea to have something to kind of clean your hands with. It could be a tissue, it could be a paper towel. That is going to be up to you to figure out what you want to use, but it should be dry, because if it's wet, then your fingers get wet, and if you are blending with a wet finger, it's going to really gunk up the paper. So I am going to grab a tissue really fast. All right, so now I have my tissue and I've got my chalk, so I'm ready to go. When I get started, I'm looking for the shapes to color inside of them. So this triangle would be a good example, the moon shape, the circle shapes here, the ends of the arrows, things that I can color inside of first. Now when you use chalk, you don't need to use a lot, okay? So just a little bit goes a long way. If you start using too much, you get a lot of extra chalk and it's real loose and powdery, and then it kind of smears all over your artwork. So you don't have to do 3-star coloring for this, because you are gonna blend it with your finger. So once I've got some chalk in a shape, I'm gonna use my fingertip right here, and I am going to rub with just that fingertip. I'm gonna rub and blend the chalk, and that helps spread it out and fill in the space. Now if you do have extra after that's done, you can shake it off, and then when you're moving on to the next shape, use that tissue or that paper towel to kind of clean off your hand. Then I move on to the next shape, and I can use different colors. You can blend colors as well. So I like to always use more than one color in a space, because I think it looks really neat. So then I'm gonna start with the lightest color when I'm blending. So for this one, I would go from yellow to orange to kind of the red-orange color. So I'm gonna blend the yellow first, and then I'm gonna go right into the orange, and then right into that red color. And then I'm gonna clean my finger on my tissue. All right, and then the moon here, I'm gonna start, add a little bit of this darker blue at the top. And remember, you don't need to use too much. You don't have to press hard. Just a little bit will go a long, long way. It's actually gonna look kind of scribbly until you blend it. And then down to the end. So then in this one, I would say this green is probably the lightest color. So I'm gonna blend that first. And I'm gonna blend it into the dark green. And then I'm gonna blend it into the blue. Now, if a little bit gets outside the shape, that's okay. We are gonna color the outside, so I wouldn't worry about it. If you get extra, you can shake it off, but there's like a little bit here, I wouldn't worry about that, because that won't show up once you've colored outside of the shapes. So I've got just a few more here. So with this one, maybe I decide to do each ring of this circle kind of a different color. And then if I were gonna blend this one, I would definitely start with the yellow. And then I'm gonna clean my finger because I'm not mixing the colors on this one. So then I'll do red, then I'll clean my finger, and then I'll do blue. So I wanted to keep those colors separate. That's why I cleaned my finger between. All right, and then the last couple of shapes here that I have, I've got the ends of the arrows. So I'm gonna do kind of half and half. So I'm gonna do yellow and green in that one, and then maybe that pink and that red in this one. Notice I didn't put a lot of color in there. It's a pretty small space. So I'm gonna do yellow first here, clean my finger, green next, clean my finger, come up here and do this orange, clean my finger, and then purple. All right, so now that I've got the insides of all of the shapes of the symbols done, now I can start to work around the outside. So when I do that, you just kind of go around all of it, and I just change colors every so often. Sometimes it's fun to go in rainbow order, because then you know they blend really well together. If you're blending colors that are opposite on the color wheel, like an orange and a blue, you're gonna get a lot of brown. So if you don't like that, I would avoid doing that. I am not gonna color over these areas that are black, okay? So I'm trying to go around those. And then every so often I might stop. So I think this is a good place to start blending. So I can go in here. I'm gonna start with my yellow first. Kind of work that in. And then after I do my yellow, I'm gonna go into that light orange. And it's okay to blend across the black Sharpie. You just don't want to color on it. And then I'm gonna go into that kind of darker red-orange color. And if you feel like, you know, you didn't get enough color there, you can always go back and you can add a little bit more and work on it some more. So it's okay to keep going and put a little bit more on there if you don't feel like you had enough. All right, and then once I blend that section, then I would go and I would keep adding on until my paper is finished like this one, so that I have color all the way around.